All right, we are moving on with elimination. Thinking this video hopefully won't be too long, but I say that sometimes and it's 20 minutes. So anyway, first things first, you need to go over and do another attendance check-in. Normally I do them on Mondays. It's weird. Attendance doesn't run Monday through Friday. It runs Wednesday through the following Tuesday. So I always do it on Monday or Tuesday, which is really kind of half of the previous week as well. But today, Wednesday, is count day. So you need to go and do your attendance check-in today. But this is your one attendance check-in that'll go through the middle of next week as well. Your attendance check-in is a question on the difference between substitution and elimination. So elimination is a method to solve systems by eliminating one variable from both equations by adding or subtracting the two equations together. I'll explain that more as we get down here. But also I wrote it in the instructions for the day. I wrote the answer. So I would prefer you to try to put it in your own words because it's kind of hard to explain. But if you can explain it, then you know what's going on. But I gave you the answers in your directions for the day. So if you click on the directions, you get the answers. Anyway, number one, it says solve using elimination. So you should have paused this and wrote the definition of elimination. Elimination. So we need to eliminate a variable. What we are going to look for is two variables. They're the same, so like two y's, but they're opposite. And this says coefficients must be opposites. You can also, so this would, if they're opposites, if we add these together, you can get 0. But if they were the same, you could subtract them and get 0 as well. But we're just going to focus on making them opposites. So if I were to add these two things together, because they're opposites, what happens is the y's eliminate, hence the word elimination. And I simplify in 3x equals 15, negative 15. And then I divide both sides by 3, because that's telling us what to do here. Some of you aren't showing that step in your homework, and I'm going to start docking points every time. It says now find y. So we plug this in, and it's telling you what we're doing over here. Okay, add 5. So it's telling you, so they're writing that, add 5 and solve for y. Negative 5. 20 is your answer. It says check. This is where you really got to be careful. Some of us are only checking it in one equation, which is fine. But you get on a test or a quiz, then you want to be checking both. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And then y, this is where it's tricky. You're subtracting a negative 20. So when you subtract negative 20, that becomes a positive. And it equals 10. Well, negative 10 plus 20, 10 equals 10. It checks there on the first one. And then also, if we did check the second one, negative 5 plus a negative 20, negative 25 equals negative 25. Okay, so let's do it again. You notice that these are opposites. So now we're going to eliminate the x's. First one we eliminated the y's. So when we do this, we're going to come down here. When we add everything together, my y's become 6y. That equals 12. I divide by 6. That's a required step that you have to show. Y equals 2. So we divide both of these by 2. And so now, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. We divide by 6 and get an answer of 2. So now that y equals 2, we have 3x plus 2 times 2 equals 5. Okay, so we have 3x plus 4 equals 5. And then we subtract 4. 3x equals 1. So x is going to equal, when we divide by 3, x is going to equal 1/3. So our answer is 1/3 comma 2. So we better check that on both of those. And thankfully, this 1/3, if we plug in 1/3 up here, it's 3 times 1/3. Well, 3 times 1/3 is just equal to 1. Plus 2 times 2 is 4. So 1 plus 4 equal 5? Yeah. And then same thing here, negative 3 times 1/3 is negative 1. And plus 4 times 2, negative 1, plus 4 times 2, negative 1 plus 8 is 7. So even though you did get a fraction, it does check. Now number 3 here. This is where, just to make it simple, we're teaching you, especially since we're doing this virtually, that we want them opposites. So you'll notice that we're going to multiply, because these match, my y's match, we're going to multiply everything by a negative 1. Everything. All terms are multiplied by a negative 1. So when I do that, everything flips. So I have negative 3x plus y equals negative 2. So notice every single sign is opposite. And that's the biggest thing that people are going to do wrong. They're not going to flip all 3 signs. So when I combine everything now, I get 2x, my y's eliminate, equals 4. I divide by 2, x equals 2. 4 divided by 2. Come up here and plug it back in. And now I can go back to this original equation if I want. So if x equals 2, so I have 3 times 2 minus y equals 2. So 6 minus y equals 2. This one's tricky because you have that negative. So I subtract 6. Negative y equals negative 4. So then I divide by negative 1. And y equals 4. So I get an answer of 2, 4. Does that work on both of these? Well, 5 times 2 is 10 minus 4 equals 6. So that checks. And if I did the other equation, 3 times 2 is 6 minus 4 is 2. So that checks. So I checked it in both spots. Good strategy for your quizzes. I'm going to pick a little bit harder one here. So I'm going to jump over to number 7 for you. And just because I do number 7 here on your notes, you need to include this in your homework. A couple different things I can multiply by. You have to decide. Really, I could multiply this by negative 3 because that would make that a negative 3x. But that would make all of these numbers a lot bigger. So we don't like to do that. So I'm just going to multiply these, since these match already, multiply by negative 1. So that's just going to rewrite this equation. I'm just going to rewrite it here. I now have negative x plus 3y equals negative 27. So I just rewrote that equation. So now we're going to add everything together. So 3x and a negative x adds to get 2x. My y's all cancel. 39 and negative 27 combine to get 12. Divide by 2. X equals 6. So now I can plug that back in. So I have 6 minus 3y equals 27. Subtract 6. Negative 3y equals 21. Divide by negative 3. Y equals negative 7. So I get an answer of 6 comma negative 7. That's important. You guys highlight it, do whatever, and if we get to a quiz next week and you have to do all this work, I got to be able to see all your 4 steps. Okay, so here's your first step where we did x equals 6. Here's your second step where y equals negative 7. Here's your third step. And then our check steps. So my check steps, I have 6 minus 3 times negative 7 equals 27. So these two negatives equal a positive. So 6 plus 21 equals 27. 27 equals 27. It checks. Do it again real quick. 3 times 6 minus 3 times negative 7. So that's 18 plus 21. It has to equal 39. And it does. So it checks. So every single problem today, I should see 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Good practice to check it both ways. Hey, the video wasn't too long. So we are completing 1 through 9. This is pages 14 and 15. Obviously, 1, 2, and 3, most of the work was done for you, but you still need to copy down anything I did. Have a good day. Make sure you do your attendance check-in.